Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Chris Gault here, Healthy Living with Chris Gault. Today we're doing the museum trail in Palm Springs. It's supposed to have some rock scrambling. It's supposed to be fun, right, Robyn? Mm-hmm. And we are going to get right to it. All right, we are at the trailhead of the museum trail. And it's going to be challenging because there's some rock scrambling up here, and we're going to show it to you, but I don't know if you can notice. I mean, it really just goes straight up. Robyn, do you have anything to say about it?
It says, caution, trail segment is strenuous and very steep. Requires stamina and or being in very good physical condition. Always know your limits. I don't think we always know our limits.
Right.
But the thing is, you can always turn around and come back, right? But that's not the attitude that we're going into.
Right, right. And we might be in our 60s, but we are definitely people who are very active. We do hike a lot, so we think we'll be fine. But if you are not in great physical shape, you might want to skip this one and do a different one. But we'll show you around. So one thing we noticed right off the bat, it's very steep. But that's what kind of makes some of these trails fun too. The trail is pretty easy to follow right now, but they do put little white dots on the trail in case you start to fall off. I almost fell there. So just know it's one where I think it's gonna be difficult to get lost on. As you can see on the mountain, there's a lot of wind power down there. There's definitely a good amount of wind that comes through here, so we're getting some good clean air. Also, when we drive by those things, there's also typically a lot of solar panels around them, but we can't see them from here, but we can see the windmills. So it's interesting, someone thought it was a good place up here on top of the mountain to put a gym. Let me show you. So that is a pull-up bar. There's a yoga mat. There's some weights. So if walking up this mountain isn't enough for you, you can actually do a workout up here while you're looking over the cliff. All right, so we're a mile in, and one of the cool things is there's actually picnic tables that they put here so you can take a quick little breather. And we are about 1/4 of the way done, being a mile in, a little more than 1/4 of the way done. And Robyn, you have anything to say?
No, we're halfway up, about a mile in, so a little less than a mile to the end of the trail that we're doing. But it is pretty much straight up, so coming down might be more of a challenge on our knees, but we'll let you know.
Yeah, going up is usually more strenuous, but going down is a little bit harder on the body. But we're gonna have our little snack and we're gonna get back on the trail. this trail is a little interesting. It dropped us off back on the road, so we're off the mountain, and now we're in front of the Carl Lichen Trail sign here, trailhead, and we're gonna still follow this map, but I think some of this trail is actually off the mountain.
So we started at the Palm Springs Art Museum. We took the museum trail, and I think the museum trail kind of ends here. And then you can either take Skyline, which I know Skyline will take you to the tram, or what we did is we got on the North Lichen Trail. And so now we're over here. Now we have to make our way back to the museum.
Yeah, and that's about a mile to get there. We saw this on the way to our car. It's the North Face X Gucci pit stop. So we're just gonna try to figure out what this is about. All right, so this is kind of odd. You can't go inside of this thing, but Robyn, what do you think?
I think it's part of a scavenger hunt or something like that. I'm gonna Google it when I get home. Something maybe called Desert X. We'll let you know.
So if you Google Desert X, it might give you an idea too. All right, so we are done with the hike. It was a little bit odd. We did use All Trails app. I do recommend whenever you go on a hike, use some sort of app. It actually did bring us back onto the trail because sometimes the trail isn't as well marked, but there is some, I guess, description mishaps in this hike. So Robyn, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, in the description it says it's out and back, and it says it's 3.7 miles. So typically on All Trails, my understanding is that's the total distance. So we did it and we followed it according to the map that I downloaded, but it ended up probably around 2.1 or 2 miles till we got to like the end of what the trail said on the map that I downloaded. So in theory, you would think that you would turn around and come back, which would, you know, maybe make it, 4.2 or something. So maybe it wasn't that far off. But we just stopped there because we were like in a town. We went up the mountain, we came down the mountain. And I think really we're supposed to go back up and come back down. But we just went up and down and then walked on the streets to get back to our car.
Right, and so about a mile back to the car. So the whole total for us would be about close to 3.4, I guess.
Well,
maybe more than that.
4 miles.
About 4 miles for us today. Part of it on the street and part of it in the mountains. That also said there's rock scrambling in the description, if you see that. And Robyn's going to leave a comment on this trail because there really isn't any what I would call pure rock scrambling. There are rocks you do have to climb up, but there isn't any really climbing up rocks on this trail.
No, you just step over them and maybe you have to hold on a little bit every once in a while because there is a higher step, but there's nothing where you have to grab onto a rock and scramble up there.
Right. But otherwise, it was a fun hike.
Yeah,
it was definitely challenging in that it does pull you up. I mean, you do have to go up. There's about a 3,000 foot elevation there, so it is a little difficult. And then when you get down, you're actually coming down is sometimes harder than going up on the body. But overall, it was a fun hike. The good thing is for me, scaredy cats like me who don't like walking on ledges, there was nothing that was a 90-degree drop or anything like that. They were all kind of sloping ledges, so those aren't as scary as obviously the other type. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, and that's all I had for this video. So if you liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and that way YouTube knows to push it out to other people. And if you have any other comments or anything like that on this hike, if you've done it and you have different perspective or you're going to do it, leave it in the comments below, and that way we can all learn from each other. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and that way you'll be notified every time I drop a healthy living video. And make sure you also hit that bell notification so you'll be notified. And if you know anybody who can use healthy living videos, make sure you share this video and the channel with them so they can join in on all the fun. And if you want to continue your happy, healthy living journey. 2 videos will pop up any moment, and you can click on any of those and you can continue that journey. And I will see you all next time.